Hi there. Okay, we're going to go over the second half of the assessment, the first few questions. They asked us here to distribute. So normally if I'm doing parentheses first, PEMDAS, right, order of operations, I would do what's inside here first. But these cannot be combined, like we said in the last video, any more than they already are. X plus 3 cannot be simplified. So I have to move on and I have to distribute this 8 that's being multiplied because this is 8 groups of all of this. So I'm going to have 8 groups of each one and spread it out a little. So the 8 is going to get multiplied by the x and the 8 is going to get multiplied by the 3, and then we're going to add those products together because there's a plus sign in the middle. So 8 times x is 8x and 8 times 3 is 24. And since we're adding these two things together, we still have to add our final answer together. That is one of the 3 problems asking you to distribute. Let's go to the next one. We have the same problem with this one. 5x plus 3 cannot be simplified. It's already as simple as it gets. These are not like terms, you cannot combine them. So instead of doing parentheses first, we have to distribute this multiplication sign across. So 7 groups of all of these is 7 groups of this one plus 7 groups of this one. So 7 times 5x. I won't use that. I'm going to use a little dot to mean multiplication so we don't get our x's and our dots confused, or x's and our multiplication signs. And I have to add still. That plus sign comes straight down, right? And then I have to multiply the 7 times the 3 in there. So now I can simplify that. 7 times 5x is 7 times 5 times x. So I can do the 7 times 5 first. That is the associative property of multiplication. 7 times 5 is 35. So 7 times 5x is 35x. Still bringing down that plus sign in the middle, right? Because we do multiplication before we do any kind of addition, even if we could do it. And the next one is 7 times 3. Hopefully you know that is 21. That's as simple as that one can get. 35x plus 21. All right, last distribution problem, and then you get to do a practice, is 12 times 2y plus 2. Again, inside the parentheses can't be simplified. It's already as simple as it can get, right? 2y cannot be combined with 2. There's no y here. They're not like terms. So I'm going to multiply instead. I'm going to distribute 12 times 2y. Bring my plus sign down. And 12 times 2. Simplifying that, 12 times 2y is 12 times 2 times y. I can do the 12 and the 2 first. That's 24 times y. Bring down my plus sign. And 12 times 2 is just 24. And there we go. That's as simple as that one can get. The next set of problems, oops, dropped my pens. The next set of problems is asking you to kind of do your work in the opposite direction. So instead of distributing a factor into a set of terms, you're going to be pulling the factor out of that set of terms. So it's the exact opposite. You're just sucking that factor right back out of it and seeing what you have left. So let's write down the first one. Need a better pen holder. All right. 5x plus 15. So this is kind of like, this is the answer from the last set of problems, and I want to see if I can go backwards and get to the beginning. Well, they don't have any variables in common. I can't multiply with an x in there, but 5 and 15 do have a common factor. If you look at the prime factorization of 15, it's 3 times 5, right? Well, there's a 5 in common. I can pull out the 5, and I can pull out the other 5. This one basically is 5 times 1. We'll just use that for a second so I can explain. So they both have a 5 in common. So instead of distributing in, I'm going to pull the 5 out over here, like that. So I'm going to end up with a 5, and then whatever's left just goes inside the parentheses. So 5 times what is going to give me 5x? Well, 5 times x. What's left over is the 1. 1x is just x. And then my plus sign stays the same, comes down. 5 times what is going to give me 15? Well, I already did that. I have it right there, 3. 5 times 3 is 15. And that's how you factor, you pull it out. Okay. There's 2 more of these problems, I believe, and then we'll be done with this video. That's one reason why you learned how to do factorization, prime factorization, when you were younger. Okay. Next problem is 9x minus 9. This one's really easy because I don't even have to do prime factorization. Clearly, they both only have 9 in common. So I'm going to suck that 9 out of the problem, bring it here to a 9. And what do I have left? Well, there's a minus sign in there, so I have to keep that minus sign. 9 times what is 9x? 9 times what's left over there? X. And now you might think it's 0 here, but no, 9 times 0 is not going to give me 9. 9 times what would give me that 9 again? 9 times 1. So you just have to kind of think backwards. And you can actually verify this. Let me show you how to verify it. Do the distributive property like I did on the other problem. So 9 times x is 9x. Bring down the minus sign. 9 times 1 is 9. It worked. It gave me the exact same place I started. So you can see how these are kind of opposite procedures. So the answer to this one is 9 times x minus 1. Okay, there's one more. Negative 4x minus 20. All right, again, I'm going to look at prime factorization to see what I can pull out of these problems. If I prime factor 2, I get 2 times 2. If I prime factor 20, maybe I'll do 4 times 5. I can't go any more with 5, so I'll bring that down. But 4 can be 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 times 5 is how you get 20 with prime factors. So what do they have in common that I can take out? Well, they both have a 2. And they both have another 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I can take 4 out. And since I have 2 negative signs, I could actually take negative 4 out and get rid of that negative sign. But you don't have to. Either way is technically true. So if I suck those 4 out, what do I have left? Well, there's no more factors down here, so I'm just left with the x, right? Because negative 4 times x is going to give me that negative 4x. And then negative 4 times what is going to give me negative 20. Well, I took the 4 out. What am I left with? I'm left with that 5 right there. So I've got a 5. The only thing I have to figure out now is do I need a plus sign or a minus sign right there. Well, negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. So I don't want a negative sign or I'll end up with a positive 20. So just kind of think that part through. So that is negative 4 times the quantity x plus 5. Again, you can double check it, make sure it works. Negative 4 times x, distribute, is negative 4x. And negative 4 times positive 5 is negative 20. You're good. It worked. Oops, can you see it? There it is.